Okay, so let us now go to the first type of factoring or polynomial expression, and that is the GCMF. GCMF stands for the greatest common monomial factor. So I have here an example. I have here a polynomial 6x plus 4x squared. So how are we going to factor that expression? So the first thing actually that we're going to do is evaluate first the expression. If the expression can be factored using other types of factoring. But in this case, this falls on the first one, and that's called the GCMF. Again, what is GCMF? The greatest common monomial factor. In the word alone, greatest, it means that is the biggest. Okay? The biggest number, the biggest expression that can be factored out from the expression so that it can be identified as the greatest common monomial factor. The word common there, it means that if you're going to factor out an expression, it means that in each of the terms of our polynomial expression, that number, that expression can be found in all of the terms of our expression. So that is what we call by the greatest common monomial, because we're going to factor out one term only, which is the greatest common among all the terms. So that is what we call the greatest common monomial factor. So first thing that we're going to do is, let us try to identify first the greatest common factor of the numbers. Okay? When you're elementary, we know what is the GCF. And again, the GCF stands for the greatest common factor. So that is only applicable on numbers, the greatest common factor. So we have here 6 and 4. So what is the greatest common factor of the numbers 6 and 4? So when we talk about greatest common factor, that is a number that can be divided both of those numbers that doesn't have a remainder. So it means that that number can be divided on both numbers 6 and 4. So you're going to think of a number that number can be divided by 6 and 4. So is 6 can be divided by 6? Yes. But how about 4? No. So therefore, 6 is not a number that is a greatest common factor. How about 4? Yes, 4 can be divided by 4, but how about 6? No. So how about 3? 6 can be divided by 3, but 4? No. So therefore, let us go to 2. Yes, 6 divided by 2, we have an answer which is 3. 4 divided by 2, we have an answer which is 4. So therefore, the greatest common factor of 6 and 4 is 2. Okay? Then, in finding for the variables is much easier compared to finding for the greatest common factor of numbers. All you have to do is very easy. Just copy the variable that has the lowest. Again, copy the variable that has the lowest exponent. And that is the greatest common monomial factor of that variable. In this case, we have a variable x. The question is, what is the smallest exponent of the two x's? We have x, in which we have an exponent of 1, and we have another x, which the exponent is 2. So as I have said to you, that we're going to select the variable that has the lowest exponent. And that variable is x having an exponent of 1. Gets? Okay, so I hope you understood it well. So, we're done with 6 and 4, and that is 2. We are done with x having an exponent of 1 and x having an exponent of 2 by getting or copying the variable that has the lowest exponent. After which, if we have solved or find or factored out the greatest common monomial factor, we're going to enclose our remaining factor with parentheses. Okay? Because if we're going to factor out, we're going to put the common monomial factor outside the expression that is being multiplied with in the first place, because we're going to do the reverse operation. And factoring out this 2x will give us another binomial factors here. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to divide our expression, our first term, 6x, to our greatest common monomial factor, 2x. Okay? So that means 6 divided by 2, the answer is 3. And we have x divided by x, that will be cancelled out. If you remembered your grade 7 lesson, dividing monomials, so if you divide x over x, the answer is 1. Right? So therefore, that is 1. X divided by x is 1 times 3, and the answer is 3. And copy plus 4 divided by 2, the answer is 2. And x squared divided by x is, the answer is x. Diba? We're going to, if you remembered it right, if you remember it still, we're going to subtract our 2 with our 1. 2 minus 1, the answer is 1. There's no need of writing 1 as an exponent. So therefore, what is left is x. Okay? Okay. Another example. So I have here 12a squared plus 18a. Okay. So focus first on the numbers. Focus on the numbers. 12 and 18. So 12, now by 18. How about 10? No. 8? No. 6? How about 6? Let's try 6. So we have here 6. 12 divided by 6. The answer is 2. 18 divided by 6. The answer is 3. So we have our greatest common factor of our 12 and 18. And what I have said before is all we have to do is just copy the exponent, the variable that bears with the lowest exponent. So we have a squared and a raised to 1. So therefore, that is only a. After we have factored out our greatest common factor, we're going to divide 12 divided by 6. The answer is 2. Just subtract. So we have 2 minus 1. The answer is a, having an exponent of 1. Copy. 18 divided by 6. The answer is 3. And a over a will be cancelled. So there is 2a plus 3 for our factor using greatest common factor. Okay? Number 3. Okay, how about this one? 10x squared plus 25x plus 5. So we have 10, 25, and 5. So we can find the greatest common factor of the numbers 10, 25, and 5. And obviously that is 5. Okay? But how about for the variables? We have here x squared, x, but in our last term, 5, but have a variable. Okay? It only bears the number 5 on our third term. So therefore, your variable x is not a common monomial factor with the terms to variables. Though our first term has an x, our second term has an x, but on the third term is that it does not have a variable x. Therefore, we can consider that our variable x is not common in all of the terms of our polynomial. When we say common, it means that it can be located, it can be found in all of the terms of our polynomial itself. So therefore, our x, we don't have x here, therefore again, x is not a common variable. So our common only is 5. Then factor out 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. What we're going to do with our x squared is just simply copy that one. 2x squared. Then copy plus. 25 divided by 5 is 5. Copy x. Then plus. 5 divided by 5 is 1. And there we have our final answer. Okay? So I want you to solve this one here. The remaining number. For our number 4, x to the 4th y cubed minus 8x y squared plus 12x squared y. To solve that, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to solve.